Off to District 7 and 8.
Welcome. District 7 and 8 coming around.
I like it.
I like dollars, I like diamonds, I like study, I like shine.
What better way to get to know District 7 and 8 than to walk them? So that's what we're gonna do. What district is first up?
District 8.
Not 7.
Oh wow, my hand. Can y'all tell me a little bit about the demographics of this beautiful District 8 that we're walking through right now?
Of course we can, Chiamaka. That's so glad you asked. So, recently, the census has told us that upwards of 71,000 people live in District 8.
How much of San Francisco is that?
So that's about 8% of San Francisco's total population.
That's quick math there, V.
1 + 1 is 3. Continue.
Additionally, the district that we're walking through is 75% white.
And has a median income of around $109,000.
Now, is that household or family median?
Household.
Household. That's an important distinction. Interesting. Are there any other major racial demographic groups apart from white people that we would like to mention?
We would love to mention them. We also this district has about a 12% Asian population and 13% Latino population. Hi everyone, we're in the Castro, and as I'm sure you all know and as we've been learning, the Castro is one of the most visible communities in San Francisco for queer and trans people. And yeah, it's just a really lovely space. They really, I don't know, it's got a really nice vibe to it. We're outside of Lyric, which is a really lovely community org based in the Castro neighborhood of District 8. And we're just really excited to get in there. They work with primarily LGBTQ youth with different like leadership training and health promotion and kind of just like general advocacy. So we're really excited to go meet them, hopefully.
Okay, hey, Lyric is a nonprofit organization that provides multiple forms of services for queer and trans and gender nonconforming youth in the Bay Area. We are based in the Castro. We have a few different programming looks really different. We have an internship. And we have multiple internships that run through the year and 2-year fellowships for trans and gender nonconforming transitional age youth. So that's ages 18 to 24, 25. And we also provide one-on-one advocacy work, advocacy services for queer and trans and gender nonconforming youth. In addition to that, we also provide we do small groups. We do groups in schools, in middle schools and high schools in San Francisco.
In what ways do you feel like the city of SF could better support you in the work that you do?
Better support us?
Mm-hmm.
One of the biggest places where change can happen is in the schools. We have partnerships with the city and with the schools to do groups, but I'm not sure the extent of that's enough support for queer and trans youth in the schools. I feel like there's still a lot of ways in which youth are underserved in the school environment.
Just jump, it'll be fine.
Okay, there we go.
Oh wow, it's recording.
Yeah, we.
So work that orgs like Lyric are doing are crucially important for communities throughout SF. These communities, these orgs have built a lot more trust and have a lot more experience within these communities than oftentimes people that are working in the city do. But not to generalize.
Yeah, it was really cool to just be able to hear some of the perspectives that staff at Lyric were doing, and like all the really holistic wraparound programs that they were doing for youth, going into schools and like really reaching out and making sure that youth have a place to turn to.
I echo all of that. Bye. B, how do you feel about this? We're gonna go summit.
Why do I keep losing V in this shot? V, you gotta do better than this. Where are you? How do you feel after summiting? What if we're not in District 8 anymore? So, we're still in District 8, climbing up this hill. We've been climbing for about a couple of days now. We can see the sun, but we can't see the top of the hill. Okay.
We ate our last snack.
But when it comes to issues in San Francisco at large, the first ones that probably come to mind for y'all are housing, homelessness, and affordability. But if we're thinking about Districts 8 and 7 specifically,
I think it's a good time to reflect on how kind of District 8's most prominent issues feature within the context of the city. During our discussion with legislative aide Tom
Temprano.
It sounded like the two key ones that this district is facing are kind of an acute homelessness problem that's being driven by kind of crackdowns in other parts of the city, and in specific parts and in specific neighborhoods, kind of a retail vacancy issue.
You know what they say, they who have gone uphill must also go downhill. How does it feel to be in No Valley, or No Valley, or No Valley, depending on the
The streets are really clean. Everything's really well maintained. They have a lot of really fancy store boutiques.
It's a little less prominently branded than Castro was, which is kind of interesting.
We're approaching Glen Park. Here we come. What do we know about Glen Park?
I don't know anything, but they have a dog playground.
Yeah, and we're at the top of the hill.
We're here in downtown SF, as you can see. Salesforce that way, one South Bend SF that way. Yes.
Where are we?
We're not in Kansas.
SF or Yosemite. If you were to drop me here, I would have no idea where I was. And that's world science. Welcome to District 7. We've arrived in District 7 with the coyotes. V, what are some highlights of District 7?
It has half of Twin Peaks
That's correct.
and Lake Merced.
That's also correct. I'm not sure why you weren't sure of that.
We're sure. We're sure.
More than sure. District 7 has a population of about 7 coyotes. It's a lot more than that, but it has a population of 72.8 thousand people, which is about 8% of the population of the city. So more or less the same as District 8, you know, plus or minus a couple coyotes. Racially, it's about 34% Asian, 53% white, and 11% Latino of any race, and those are the largest categories. The median household income is $104.7 thousand, which is a ton. And that's the most important demographics of District 7. The finest roads of District 7.
Where are Laguna Honda?
You've stumbled upon
You know, just happen to be in the neighborhood, you know, walking across the city.
Retirement center.
Vengo desde el pasado y permanezco en el presente. Me tiene muy pendiente, más que a los pretendientes. Porque
We're in beautiful District 7, but although District 7 is beautiful, it's also facing a lot of issues like the rest of San Francisco. One of those being
kind of related to the demographics within District 7, and that being specifically housing, because most of the housing stock, as you can kind of see, is single family housing.
which is different from a lot of other parts of SF that are maybe a lot more dense.
And so legislative aide Eric, I don't remember your last name.
Maybaum, I do. That's why we're together.
That's why we're together, storing that memory. Talked about how the district has a bunch of new housing development kind of in the pipeline. We don't really know what that looks like, but that's a little side note.
Mm-hmm. And also, so given that there are a lot of families within this district, Supervisor Yee is very focused on issues impacting children and families and how they can better support the families in this district. And I think one major initiative was Prop C, which...
Prop C was kind of, from our understanding, it was a major capital infusion kind of into like extremely early ed. So like kids who are from 0 to 5, both in raising the wages of their educators and I think in just generally more resources for those programs.
So another thing that Supervisor Yee is really big on, if you can hear me over the cars, is participatory budgeting. So this is when a portion of the budget is allotted for the public to decide exactly how it's spent. And in the case of last year in District 7, I believe it was about $550,000, right? Sure. So basically, you as a citizen of District 7 submit your ideas for what you want. So, you know, if I want my intersection to be safer, I want a better crosswalk or something. So you submit your proposal, it gets evaluated, and then it gets put on the ballot. And in order to be implemented off of the ballot, you need at least 350 votes minimum or something. And District 7 tries to fund as many projects as it possibly can. So we're about to go to Westport Elementary, which has been a recent recipient of these participatory budgeting dollars in 2016, and see what exactly they did with their money and how it's impacting their community.
So we're about 600 students, and we're like a dual track. We have a general education, which is 2/3 of the school, and then a can't use a language immersion program, which is 1/3 of the school.
So then how did the school get involved in the participatory budgeting process?
We had enrolled in shared school yards, and then we had this thing that kind of came up, which was like an issue for families, which were the kids were all eating on the asphalt. Like there weren't any places for the kids to sit. They had a grant for up to $25,000, which we applied to for the tables and shade. And then they had like this $75,000.
Yeah, they were saying like a kind of one time.
Yeah, it was like I don't know if they did it again. It was like a grant to for the language of it, but it was to do something that the whole community and at least 3 neighborhoods enjoy. So you know, we that's weekends, so we get these upgrades and like people across the district. So yeah.
Perfect. We have time to check it out.
Yeah. So we ended up with 25 tables, and like half of them are in the shard and half of them in the shard. These are permanent shade structures, and I think that the school district was kind of excited to get a chance to use them. So these are all like crumbling wooden benches, and now we have like a good amount of seating. So they resurfaced all the, you know, like all the Foursquare and like the track and all of that is.
Oh, like, that's a track.
No, it's really
nice. It's they have it like measured out, and the kids know how many like laps is a mile.
Yeah, that's so cool.
So we set up like voting booths, and then like we had parents that would go down Westport Avenue and be like, vote for just kind of like so. I mean, it was fun. It was a very community building, and you know the kids got really into it. And then this was the last part. They took like an entire grade and did these design workshops. And then, like, so some of the drawings like the kids did. Like so the theme is I think it's like a mural. Like it's a natural history of Westport. So it's kind of like it reads like a timeline.
Yeah, you got Muni coming in here right at the end.
And then Muni comes in at the end, and then they looked at pictures. That's what I know about it.
Of what the school used to
Got
so you. That's really interesting.
We've walked a long way today, but it's finally done.